I want to bring up a tweet that the president just sent out just a couple minutes ago. He seems to be up at the Shangri-La here this hour, and he's saying this: the fact that I am having a meeting is a major loss for the U.S., say the haters and losers. We have our hostages. Testing, research, and all missile launches have stopped, and these pundits who have called me wrong from the beginning have nothing else they can say. We will be fine. How prepared is the president, do you think, ahead of these talks?
Well, he says that he can assess Kim Jong Un within minutes. I'm somewhat doubtful, but I do feel confident about the people who are supporting him. I think the folks at the State Department and those who have been supporting in the CIA are very well prepared. My hope is that they've done an incredible amount of. I know they've been working around the clock. So I'm feeling that there's going to come something out of this that I think will make us hopeful. Whether it amounts to anything, it's all in about the follow-up and what happens moving forward, and that's unclear at this point.
Yeah, we learned that they're going to kick this off with a one-on-one between President Trump and Kim Jong Un alongside their interpreters. What's the risk and reward for a format like that, and who actually stands to gain from such an intimate setting?
Well, the buck stops here, but the buck stops with Kim Jong Un. No one can contradict him. When he makes a commitment, it's going to go all the way through the system. So there's value related to that. And Donald Trump, as we've seen, is really his own decision maker as well. So there's value in both of them coming together and having a conversation. I think ultimately, if I was Donald Trump, there are 4 questions that he has to answer. The first is, is North Korea willing to give up these nuclear weapons? It's been a while since we've had a conversation. People speculate about that, but we just don't know, and we have to hear it directly from Kim Jong Un. If that's the case, are they willing to give it up over the short term, these nuclear weapons, which I doubt? Is it medium term or longer term? And then the third question is, how much is it going to cost us, in a sense? And what does North Korea want? We don't know. And the final question is, can the United States actually politically and the international community pay that particular price? These are all unknowns, but with this kind of summit, it is now finally knowable. And those questions, if we answer them, will determine whether or not we can make a deal with Kim Jong Un in North Korea after so long.
Philip, lots of unknowns for the North Korea side. We've had analysts come on and say Kim and his military are certainly not interested in giving up their nuclear arsenal, but a lot of uncertainty in the Trump administration too, right? You point out this kind of gap between where the likes of Bolton sit, where the likes of Pompeo sit. How much pressure is a president under to try and appease these different parties? And you can kind of see that defensiveness come through in that tweet that Yvonne just brought up earlier.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. There is ongoing a battle in the White House and in the U.S. administration. People who believe that negotiating with North Korea is absolutely useless and a waste of time. There are others that I would charitably say don't necessarily trust North Korea, but they want to find out. And I think from my standpoint, I think since it is knowable, since we have the opportunity to find out, if we're going to base a decision such as risking war and the possibility of hundreds and thousands of casualties as a result of threats and miscalculation, which could happen on the peninsula very easily, I want to make sure that we're going to do that based on facts and not assumptions. And so that's why I think is the most important thing out of this particular summit is to find out what we can. And then based on that, hopefully, if we get the right answers, then to start a process. I think setting high expectations of North Korea giving up its nuclear weapons and completely denuclearizing in the space of 2 years by 2020, I think is not in the cards. And if that's what the U.S. goal is going to be, it's going to end in failure.